Welcome, class. This week we are writing play scripts and we are making sure that we know the main features to use. So, first thing you need to do is present the setting. Decide where the scene will take place. Describe introduction write an introduction that describes the place, or have the narrator describe the scene. Now, I've provided in the week 7 assignments the information that you can use for the setting. So I will leave that up to you to figure out how to put it in to our play script. Of course, the characters, you are deciding who the characters will be. You're going to write a short description of each character, and you're going to keep the number of main characters as small as possible. I've actually provided this to you as well. You're going to use 2 characters. So, the story, I've provided you the framework for the story. I've given you a scenario, and it's up to you to decide the direction that you want to take it. So, make sure that you sketch out like where you want it to go. You don't have to start writing the words and writing the stage directions as yet. Make sure that you first make a plan, make a little map as to what you want to happen with these characters. Of course, the dialogue that you're going to use will tell the story. And remember to keep the storyline simple. Okay. Of course, the layout, that's important. Make sure you set the scene as a short paragraph. Start a new line each time a new character speaks, and put the name of the speaker in the left-hand margin followed by a colon. And I've put this here. This is what the colon is. It's the 2 dots. Don't put the parentheses around it, but I just did this to show you that that's what a colon is. So here's an example. Peter, and here's the 2 colons, and that's how you would put the name of the character up against the margin. Of course, this is not correct. He should be in italics. And then, of course, you give instructions to the character in brackets, and that's what these things are. These are the brackets, and that would be the instructions, which are what you want the character to do, not necessarily say. The words in brackets are not spoken. So we're going to put together just a little bit of a storyline here. We're going to use Little Red Riding Hood. These are the list of characters. Okay, and the next thing that would appear would be the scene. Okay, in the kitchen, and this is the preparation in the kitchen. The mother is packing a basket on the kitchen table whilst Little Red Riding Hood puts on her cape. Okay, and now we have the actual words. So mother, now this is a stage direction, so she has to say these words firmly. Be sure to carry the basket carefully so as not to damage the cakes. And then RRH is the abbreviation for Red Riding Hood. And then kindly she says, "Of course, mother, they are so prettily decorated. I wouldn't want to spoil them." Now mother asks her a question. You know the way. We've been so many times together. You should do. Now, obviously you can see that the characters names are up against the left margin. After the character there is that colon, 2 spaces, and then if you want to give a stage direction, you would put it in brackets, and here are the spoken words. Again, spoken words, there's no quotation marks around it. We know that those are the spoken words because they are not in brackets. So, and here's the rest of the story. Red Riding Hood says, yes, mother, I know the way. Mother responds, be sure to keep to the path now. Don't wander off and get lost. Red Riding Hood says, no, mother, I'll keep to the path. Mother says, and don't talk to strangers. And Red Riding Hood says, I won't. Now, as an aside to the audience, this means she's going to turn away from mother and speak to the audience as if mother is not there and say, not that there ever is anyone in the woods. So mother now is going to give her the basket and kiss her on the cheek. Again, stage directions. And she says to her, do be careful and give Grandma my love, won't you? Tell her I'll be along tomorrow to see that she's all right. And now Red Riding Hood puts her hand on the door handle, turns to face her mother, and she says, I'll be back before you know it. Bye. And mother says, bye, love, take care. And then quietly to herself, she says, do hope she'll be okay. I don't like her being in those woods all alone. You never know what might happen. Okay, so that's the formatting, that's spacing, and that's everything you need to know. So, your job, your task is, is to write the one-act play for the two scenarios presented in the classroom. Make sure you're following the same format. Make sure you have a title, set the scene, your dialogue has no quotation marks, and any stage directions you want to provide to your characters, make sure that they are in brackets. Now, your 7A assignment is interesting, okay? It's basically two roommates, and one roommate A is trying to arrange for roommate B to leave the apartment. Doesn't explain why at the very beginning, so keep that in mind. And then finally, roommate A does explain why he or she wants B to leave. I didn't provide the answer. I didn't provide that. I just provide the general scenario. And then for assignment B, there's two people and they're on a fancy dinner date in a fancy restaurant. They haven't been getting along, and this is the scenario I provided for you, giving you all these tips as to how to set it up. And then they get to a point where there is one roll left in the bread basket, and one says to the other, do you want the last roll? That's where you have to start your play at that moment. The first line should be, do you want the last roll? Okay, and then go from there. And then either come to a conclusion for their relationship, or a starting point, a fix, so to speak, and that's basically it. So, and that's the assignments. Have fun with this.